Well, I would say a lot of people would think that one of the top reasons for not having a successful relationship would be in the area of sex, but I find there's far too much of that going on anyway, so we'll just discount that right away.
My name is Shannon. I'm going to talk about sour grape relationships and how they got that way.
Well, my name is Dr. Debbie. I am a certified pre-marriage counselor. An example of a relationship that wouldn't work, well, there was a couple that I was meeting with, and he wasn't quite sure whether he wanted to get married or not because he wasn't sure if she was going to be accepting of the other women that he had in his life. Right away, that could be a problem. Communication.
The last girlfriend that I had before I got married, she was still in love with her ex-husband that she had divorced like a year prior and didn't want to tell me. It was dishonest of her to ask me out or to accept a date from me because she was not over. Her heart belonged to somebody else. And so when I finally figured out what was going on, that relationship was quickly over.
Because it's good that, couples actually talk to each other once in a while, let them know what's going on. But at the same time, hey, if it works for them, it must work for somebody else too. So.
Not knowing how to fight fairly.
Fight fairly? Why wouldn't someone fight fairly in a relationship? To get, what they want? Kind of way? Let's see, what's an example of that? I guess a real simple example of fight fairly would be, like getting a pet. Someone wants a dog and the other person don't want a dog, and then, he goes and gets a dog anyway, then there you go. That's not fighting very fairly. I had one friend, it was back in high school. I didn't know that he was dating this chick because he just came up to me and I was like, he asked me if I could borrow something because he was giving it to one of his friends, and I was like, why, is she doing something? And he was like, no, we're going out. I was like, oh, really? And I was looking at her and I was like, yeah, it's not going to last. And a week later, they broke up. So.
I have two friends. I've known one of them since I was about 7, and the other I met in high school. They dated their freshman year and got married sophomore, junior year for one of them. They had a kid before they got married, which obviously isn't ever a good idea, but they did it anyways. They planned that one. Didn't think that was a good idea. He's been cheating on her since 2 months into the relationship, and we've all tried to tell her. She does not listen to us. She finally found it out a few months ago. Actually, it's kind of weird. She found out 2 months ago that he's been cheating on her, and she won't divorce him. She barely even confronted him about it, which I thought was insane. It's not a good relationship for them, and I've tried to tell her to get out of it. I tried to warn her before she got married, and now she's stuck with him and she won't leave him, and I don't understand why.
The reason I didn't date in high school is because all the girls I knew were really crazy, and they probably all smoked weed, and they probably slept with everybody. It's probably because they seem like two very different people. My friend was kind of loose and just kind of crazy, and this other chick, she was just stuck up and she just wanted it her way, and I just knew that Dad just straight up knew, yeah, they're way two different people.
Just exactly what you said.
And just because, you don't have any right to expect that the other person is just going to be like a male or female model good looks. If that's what you're looking for in a relationship, as opposed to just maybe a casual date, then you're looking one-dimensionally at a relationship, and you're the one who's not ready to be in a relationship.
What the heck do you want that for?
And the expectations that you have of the other person in a relationship they have to be reasonable. You cannot expect somebody, like in my case, to be a 19-year-old Coca-Cola shaped model. Don't do that.
Okay, communication, it's pretty important. I mean, I'm not going to say it's my #1 thing up there because there has to be some sort of connection, physical and emotional, of course. But, I mean, if you can't tell someone what's wrong with you, how do you expect to be able to last for more than just a few months? I mean, I can talk to my boyfriend about everything. As awkward as it gets, it's not awkward in a sense. And what I mean by, like, communicating is not like, you know, oh, hey, let's go talk about, you know, movies and books and stuff, because everyone can talk about that. I mean, that's just a casual conversation. You have to be able to talk about the deep, gritty stuff like sex and, you know, family without offending the other person, because if you're going to sit there and trash talk their mother all the time, it's not going to go anywhere.
Maturity level.
Best part of a relationship is probably knowing that someone is there and that you can actually trust someone to go and talk to, whereas, you know, if you just run up to a friend, they could just blurt it out, but in a relationship, at least you know you could probably trust that person to keep secrets and things like that.
Now, really, what's the best part?
Now, what's really the best part? Having someone there, just to be by your side. Sometimes that's actually the best thing to have. The reason I didn't date in high school was because all the girls I knew were really crazy, and they probably all smoked weed, and they probably slept with everybody.
Unrealistic expectations.
And just because, you know, you don't have any right to expect that the other person is just going to be like a male or female model good looks. If that's what you're looking for in a relationship, as opposed to just maybe a casual date, then you're looking one-dimensionally at a relationship, and you're the one who's not ready to be in a relationship.
Wait a minute.
Your last boyfriend, I can't stand him. Like, he's a sweet guy, I love him to death, but I can't believe he dumped you just a couple of days before prom. I felt like really bad. And I told my youth pastor about it, and he was mad. He was like, why in the world would you dump her? She's so pretty. And what's your reason? And so he's like, well, I can't tell you. And I was like, well, he said that he's too stressed. And my youth pastor's like, you're pathetic. Just stop now.
I'm Lauren Ritz, and I approve this message.